So today's question comes from Jack, and he asks, how do I acquire that internal power and radiance to attract the woman of my dreams? I just seem to attract women that I'm just not interested in. Well, okay, Jack, first things first. And by the way, we may be talking about different things. You may have just used different words, so I don't want to get too hooked up on semantics. But often when someone uses the word radiance, they're really describing a more feminine energy. A radiant force is something that's often described as women who exude this powerful feminine radiance. Nature exudes radiance. You know, it's Hawaii is radiant, yes? So when you talk about a masculine power, it's often described as being more present, more solid, more vertical, more directional. So I'm not sure which one you meant. So if I'm going to assume that as you're a man, and I don't want to make the assumption, but I have to make an assumption because I don't have any more information about you. So I'm just going to go to what I know the majority of people will feel aligned to, and that is more to the more masculine. So forgive me if I'm talking to people who are in fact more neutral or more feminine, even though they may be gender-wise men. But I'm going to talk to the 80% of the population here who have more of a masculine essence if they happen to be masculine in gender. Now, if you want to develop your power and that presence and that internal connection to your strength and to your core so that you can attract the woman of your dreams, and especially have that polarity not being conflict, but polarity meaning that beautiful charge of electricity and that arc of connection, chemistry and attraction that you so desperately look for in a mate. Well, in order to do that, several things need to happen. The first thing is that you need a very well developed connection to your emotion. And by that I don't mean you're going to be able to, I don't mean crying and crying and crying and being in touch with your own emotion. That may be part of your journey, becoming more of who you are, so you get to know who you are. But when I mean having a journey to become more connected to your emotion, it means having a capacity to not be scared of your own emotion and not be scared of the emotion of life, the emotion of women. Because remember, emotion is just energy in motion. And often men can't feel beyond their capacity to feel themselves. So if they're living superficial, kind of dry, mediocre lives where they're kind of scared to go to the depths of their own being, they don't even know who they are, they're avoiding feeling, then what happens is that they can't feel women or life. They're not going out, tuning into other. Which of course is what attracts women at a deep heart level, is a man's capacity to feel into her. But a man can't feel into his woman until he can actually feel into himself. So any man who's internally divided, that is, they're so ambiguous because they don't know how to be present within their own self, will find it very difficult to really get into a relationship with a deeply conscious, radiant woman. So that's the first step. Become more emotionally in touch. And as I said, I'm going to repeat this. It's not about so much being in touch with your emotion, it's about being in touch with their emotion. Yeah? Although you getting in touch with your emotion through certain therapies, counseling, inner child work, transformational stuff, that's all part of your journey. It may not necessarily be something you would specifically share in a relationship, because that's really your path to becoming more integrated. Now, the second part is about developing presence, and presence is all connected to how you're able to connect to your energetic emotional body. What that is that vital energy, some call it chi, prana, that sense of life force, I call it juice. Your ability to connect to that juice is so important to develop presence. When you're connected to your juice, you are present, and when you're juicy and present, you're very, very attractive. Not romantically, from a polarity point of view, just energetically, you'll be more noticed. There'll be a sense of, wow, there's this guy here who's so charged. Now, in order to get connected to your energy, I mean, there's so many different practices you can do to connect to your energy, whether it's through qigong or meditation or movement, exercise, prayer, you name it. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds of them. But a connection to your presence in terms of your energy, you need to find the the source or the way into that for you. But this is where most people fall away. It's very difficult to get completely and utterly energized if you don't know what it is that you want in life, you don't know who you are, and you don't know where you're going. If you feel lost, but you're defending against feeling how lost you feel. In other words, a lot of men, they don't let themselves feel how lost they are, so they numb themselves out, they distract themselves out, TV, through beer, through masturbation, through working in circles on a project that really isn't fulfilling their deepest longing. But they do it, and they're just addicted to doing this. It's a common one. When you don't let yourself feel how lost you are, you numb yourself up with distraction, and that creates a lack of presence. You can't connect your energy because your energy is connected to truth. So if you're not living your truth, you can't connect to your energy. So a man who is deeply attractive is a man who's living his truth, who knows his truth, knows his direction, knows where he's going, knows his purpose. And by purpose, I don't necessarily mean your long-term, your deepest life's purpose, and you need to discover it because it's behind a rock somewhere or behind a door, and if you just did enough work, you'll suddenly discover it. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about knowing your purpose moment to moment, right now. What is your purpose in this very moment? Are you living that fully? Are you giving your gifts fearlessly? So those are the kind of questions I would ask. And then, of course, about your connection to gratitude. How easy is it for you to connect to gratitude in your life? Yeah, that's an essential part for you to find your masculine force as well, and also your ability to connect to awe and wonder. That is, to be able to live in the question, not in the answer. People who go around giving advice, trying to fix or trying to give solution, teach, are very insecure. They end up needing to tell everybody what's going on or tell everybody what everything is, because they're not okay with not knowing, with being wrong, with living in the mystery that in fact we know nothing about anything really. So to think that we have an idea about how life works becomes very well, it's very inauthentic, because the truth is the feminine force is life itself, and men have been trying to control that force for ages. And the truth is that it's a mystery, and it will always be a mystery. It's not something to be understood. Men need to surrender in grace, in a humbleness, to the power of that majestic force of the feminine. But instead, when men are divided and internally conflicted, they feel so insecure and scared of that energy, they feel they need to impart control, so they try to understand it and teach it and abuse it. And that's why we get the rapes, that's why we get the controlling relationships, etc., etc., etc. So a woman is deeply attracted to a man where she can feel when she looks into his eyes, he is completely there, he's not scared, he's totally able to love fully, to enter her heart without being all defensive and contracted and superficial. You know, a good analogy is, Jack, is this. The woman or feminine energy is the deep blue ocean. It has no bounds. There is no structure or direction to it. It's complete flow, and it's vast and it's deep. And the masculine is the boat that kind of bounces along the top. You can steer it. You can change the direction of the boat. But ultimately, when it's calm, it's calm. When it's a hurricane, no matter what the boat does, you can't change that. And any attempt to do so is futile and usually ends up getting the sailor killed. So, fearlessness around that is so important. So that's what I would say about that, Jack. Get in touch with your purpose. Know what your gifts are. Create a sense of direction. Know your truth. Follow your truth. Get in touch with your emotion. Not so much your emotion, but let yourself connect enough to what's going on for you so you can feel another. Because women don't necessarily want you to be in touch with your emotion, they want you to be in touch with their emotion. But again, if you want to feel others, you need to learn how to feel yourself. You know, it's a double-edged sword there. So those are the things that I would suggest if you want to create and connect to this power. Now, of course, what I've said sounds so simple, doesn't it? It's simple and not easy. That is, I might have outlined the process, but I'm not sharing with you all the hows and the implementation of it, because I just can't do that over a simple video, and nor can it be done over a weekend. There's no quick fixes or some single therapy or NLP trick that you can suddenly do and suddenly, oh good, I can now attract the woman of my dreams. I mean, this is a journey that you're going to have to take. And if it resonates with you, this is what my work is about. It's about helping people take that journey into their deepest heart, whether it's their feminine heart or their masculine heart, and then learning how to share that with each other in a way that allows them to come to know God through relationship. So yeah, if you're interested in learning about that, either through events, retreats, or home study programs, and anybody else listening, if this resonates with you, all you need to do is go to loverelationshipsandyou.com. So if you enjoyed this, please leave a comment below. Please share this with your friends and family using Twitter or Facebook, or just emailing them the link. And I will see you in the next video. Take care now.